In this video, we're going to talk about how to solve a Rubik's Cube. So this is a great exercise, a fun activity. It'll take you some time to invest to learn what we're going to go over, probably a few days or so, but I think the payoff will be well worth it. It's a fun activity, it's a good mental exercise, it's a neat party trick too. So the method I'm going to show you is on the scale between a beginner method and an advanced method. The normal beginner methods that you'll find online will take you step by step, and you'll solve the first layer, then you'll solve the second layer, and then you'll solve the third layer. And basically you're just following what are called algorithms, which are just steps. You do this, then you do this, then you do this, and along the way the cube gets solved. A couple of things about those methods though. One, they're pretty time consuming, the beginner methods, and also they're not kind of boring. Once you figure out how to do it, you just plow through every cube the same way. There's really no intuition involved. Your advanced cube solvers that can solve cubes in well under 30 seconds, they've memorized many more algorithms, upwards of 50 algorithms, that can take advantage of certain situations that are happening in the cube and can accomplish 2 goals at a time or 3 goals at a time that help them get to the end, the solved cube, faster. The problem with the advanced methods is, like myself, I don't want to devote a whole lot of time to maintaining all these algorithms in my mind. You have to really practice. I might work on this once a week. I leave it on my bookshelf in our living room. My kids will come by, they'll mess it up, and then I'll fix it. And so I might do this once a week, maybe once a month. I won't be able to stay sharp on dozens and dozens of intricate algorithms. So the method we're going to use uses a blend of intuition and a few algorithms. But the algorithms, you'll get to where they're almost second nature. In fact, when I was working on this video here, I was going to jot down the algorithms to show you, and I couldn't even remember technically what they were. Just my hands have gotten so used to just doing them that I actually had to go through and think about, oh, that's a left side, then a right side, then spin the top, and that sort of thing. So I'll show you the algorithms when we get into it. Last thing I'll say before we begin is, if this is something you're serious about, you want to learn how to solve a cube and be good at it, I would highly recommend investing in a good quality cube. If you just go buy a Rubik's Cube off the shelf, it's probably not going to be very good quality, and it'll be tough to turn. It'll take you forever to actually get through solving it. But if you get a good quality cube, you can see you can spin it. You should be able to spin these freely, and the actual turning shouldn't take a long time. So get you a good quality speed cube online. All right, so let's get started. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of notation to begin with. When you're holding the cube and it's facing you like this, we're going to call this the left. I'm going to call this the right. This is the front. This is up, and this is down. And when I say one of those and I'm referring to a turn, I'm referring to turning that face in a clockwise direction if you were facing that particular face. So this would be right? Because from right's perspective, that would be clockwise. If you were looking at the right face, that would be clockwise. Okay. This would be left. Because from left's perspective, that would be a clockwise turn 90 degrees. This would be up, from the upper face's perspective. This would be down. From down's perspective, that would be clockwise. And you get the idea. We don't normally deal with the back. So if I want to turn a face in the other direction, then I use the word inverted. So this would be up inverted. That would be up inverted because that's counterclockwise. And likewise, you would have left inverted like that. You would have right inverted like so. You get the idea. Okay. All right. So one other thing I'll mention before we start solving the face, or start solving the cube, is that while all these things, all these edges and corners and stuff can move and change, and that's what makes solving a Rubik's Cube fun, the center squares will never change. Think about it. Here's white. This is always going to be the white center square right here. And if you think about it, white will always be opposite yellow, for example. You could never move white right here to be beside yellow. That'll never happen. If you turn white, yellow moves as well. Red will always be opposite orange, and green will always be opposite blue. So that's helpful to know, because that lets you know that this is going to be the yellow face. This will be the blue face when we're done. This will be the red face. This will be the white face. You get the idea. Okay, so with that little bit of backstory, let's begin. So we need a consistent place to start, consistent way of beginning. We're going to start with the white face. Now, when you get good at this method, technically you could really start with any face, but just for consistency's sake, we're going to start with the white face. The first objective is to get a white T or a white cross right here that not only is a white cross, but also lines up with these respective colors, center squares on all the different faces. I'm not going to give you an algorithm for this. This one is really just going to be kind of intuition. Just look around, find a center square, or an edge that has white on it, and twist it around to where it gets on the bottom face correctly. You can do this slowly. You'll get faster at it the more you practice. But like here, I've got white correctly connecting with blue. There, you get the idea. Let me get the red edge down here. Okay, so now I've got the white with the red edge and the white with the blue edge. One little trick that'll save you some time is, notice if you turn the bottom, you're going to mess up that, everything you just worked for, because then it's going to be red with blue, not red with red, and that sort of thing. The good news is it doesn't have to match perfectly right away. These just have to be correct with respect to themselves. So for example, I know that blue has to be opposite green, so I don't really care where the bottom is. I just want to make sure that the white green edge is opposite the white blue edge. So if I put that on this back side and then turn this one down, here I've got white green and I've got white blue. And you say, well, Devin, this isn't matched up on the blue center square. That's okay, as long as these are correct with respect to themselves. One little twist, and not only will this be good, but the green will also be good. Right? Oh, and by the way, we already had the white red edge fixed. All right, the last one is the white orange. That should go right here. So we'll twist that like so, and then drop it down. A good beginner method, if you're uncomfortable with making this white cross, is to use the opposite side, the complete opposite face, the yellow face, is kind of a workbench. Move everything up to the yellow face, spin it wherever it needs to go, and then drop it down into the appropriate place. Now these don't look right now, but they're right with respect to themselves. Green is opposite blue, and orange is opposite red. So a little twist, and they should all be good. Green, orange, blue, red. I've got a white T, looks great. Everything's good to go. So first objective is complete. Notice no algorithms or anything like that, no steps, really just intuition. Okay, next step is we're going to get the first two layers solved simultaneously. Some of the beginner methods, you'll solve the first layer. You'll get this first layer completely solved, and then you'll work on the second layer after that, and then you'll work on the third layer, etc. We're going to get the first two all at once. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to make these things called wedges. A wedge is two pieces connected that'll be inserted into a corner right here. There's 4 wedges that we're going to make. Here, 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 and here. Okay, I'm going to show you how to make a wedge and how to insert it. Okay, one thing you'll notice is that every wedge has to have a white on it on a corner, because that's where they're going is on the white face right here. So find any piece that has white, a corner piece rather, that has white. The white T or the white cross is going to be our bottom face now, and the top is going to be kind of like our workbench. We're going to work on the top face right here. And we're going to get 2 of these pieces together somehow. So let me show you what a wedge looks like and show you the concept of what we're going to do, and then I'll show you how to make a wedge. So don't really worry about what I'm doing right now. I'll show you this in just a minute, but this is an example of a wedge that I just made, a white, green, orange wedge. That should be picked up and inserted on the white, green, orange corner right here. So if I could magically pull these out and put that wedge in there, that would be really great. Okay, to insert a wedge is quite simple. The wedge, you're going to get as close as you can get to the appropriate corner without blocking the way, without blocking the top square here. It'll either be on the right or on the left. This one happens to be on the right. I'll tell you the algorithm, but I really don't want you thinking about the algorithm. I'd rather you think about it intuitively. To insert this wedge, you're going to do left inverted, up, left. And check that out. You just put that wedge in its place. Now, that we don't want to think in terms of algorithm. So let me put it back. And here's really what we're doing behind the scenes. We're taking this trash piece right here, this piece that shouldn't be here. We're moving it up to the workbench, bumping it out of the way, and putting our good wedge back. Okay, when you think about it that way, that makes a lot more sense. All right, now one thing I haven't shown you yet is how do you make those wedges? Okay, there's really only 3 possibilities. What I like to do is I like to get the corner that has white on it that we're going to make into a wedge, like this white, red, blue corner right here. We're going to put it on the front upper right corner right here. The piece that goes with it is obviously red, blue. That piece is going to go with it and make a wedge that we're going to put right here, white, blue, red corner. We're going to put it right there, that wedge right there. So first thing we have to do is identify where's the edge piece that goes with this guy. Look around the cube. Here he is. Okay, now this is a problem. If your edge piece is not on the workbench, then you have to put it up on the workbench so we can work on it. Okay, so this is something we have to do a lot. Now, keep in mind, we don't want to break our white T. We don't want to mess that up. So what you can do at any time is you can make one turn and mess up your white T. You can turn something on the top layer as long as you turn it back to fix your T. So you've got one chance to break your T, do something on the top layer, and then put your T back. So notice you can turn and break the T for a moment, do whatever you need to do on the top layer, and then put it back. Okay, so using that concept, I'm going to take this red blue piece, which I would really love to get on my workbench up on the top layer. I'm going to do, with it faced as I currently have it, I'm going to do right, up. Let me actually do up a couple of times because I want the 2 pieces that have the red and blue on them. I don't want them to get sucked back down to the lower levels. So I want to move them clear away. I can move this top piece as much as I want to, and that's not going to mess up the edge piece that is involved with my right T, my white T rather. Okay, so I'm going to move that a couple times to where the red blue pieces here and here are away from what I'm about to put back. So I put that back, so I still have my white T, my white cross, and the 2 pieces I have to work on, white, blue, red, are on my top layer now on my workbench. Okay, let me twist it to where I can again get my white corner on the front upper right where I like to have it. I guess that's just habit. Okay, now here's how we connect wedges. You have 3 possibilities. Think of it in terms of where is the white side. If the white side is on top, we're going to do one type of move. If the white is on a corner, you have 2 other moves that you can do. And they're all intuitive. Again, I'm not working off of algorithms here yet. We will have some algorithms later in the process, but I want to avoid those as long as possible. Quick side note, why am I trying to avoid algorithms? If I put this cube up for 6 months, I want to be able to come back and keep working on it. And that's difficult to do if you have to memorize 18 different algorithms. All right, so if the white piece is on top, I like to call this move yoga. You know, in those yoga classes where they lean to the left and they stretch to the right, and they take their arms and they reach way over to the left or way over to the right. That's what this move reminds me of. What we're going to do is we're going to take this edge piece and we're going to bend it to the left or to the right, and we're going to swing this corner piece over to make a wedge. Okay, now if I tip this guy to the right, well, let me use correct terminology with you just so you can follow along. If I did a left turn clockwise and swung this guy over, notice, hey, I made that into a little wedge. Okay, let me put it back. If I did a left inverted, notice that's the right two pieces, but in the wrong order. So you have to be careful about which way you do this. If you do bend it clockwise or bend it counterclockwise, it makes a difference. If you don't know, you could just try both, but if you think about it, you can usually mentally think about it. If you're going to swing this guy over, I need it to be red, blue. If I tip this guy counterclockwise, it would be blue, red. If I did clockwise, it would be red, blue. Okay. Now, one other thing, this is a good time to mention this as well. When you do this move, the yoga move as I call it, you're putting this guy down into a lower level and then swinging this guy on top of it. That potentially might mess up one of your good corners. Notice I've already worked hard to get this corner good right here. So for example, if this was on this back corner right here, if I did a left turn, that's going to bring my good edge up to the top. And then when I swing this away to make my wedge, which I'm really excited about, I just messed up my hard work. So to fix this, this is something you have to do a lot. Anytime you tip something down or you hide something or you put something to a lower level, make sure whatever's on the back end is what I call trash. That's corners or wedges that don't matter. This is a good wedge, that's not trash. This is trash, that's trash, and that's trash, right? Because they're not the correct wedges. So this blue red edge right here that I'm going to tip down, because I'm going to tip it, I'm going to do a left turn, a clockwise turn. I'm going to put trash on this back corner. I'm going to do left, up, left inverted. Okay, and that brought my wedge up to the top workbench, and I did not mess up my white T. Okay, notice that's still good. Okay, because I did a turn and then I undid it to maintain my T here. Now once you have your wedge good, find the corner that it goes on, white, blue, red, get it as close as you can get it without blocking the top. And then this is on the left side. So the formal algorithm would be right, up inverted, right inverted. Notice we inserted that wedge right here. Thinking of it intuitively, let me put it back, okay? Intuitively, all I'm really doing is bringing the trash up to the workbench, bumping it out of the way, and putting my good wedge back. Awesome, there's a good one, and there's a good one we had from before. Okay, so that's yoga. That's one of the three possibilities of how to connect wedges together. Let's do another one. Okay, I'm going to find any corner that has white. Here's one. Okay, I'm going to get that on my front upper corner right here where I always like to start. Okay, here, this one, the white is on a side. So white, orange, blue. Let me find the edge that goes with it. That should be an orange-blue edge. Where's orange, blue? Where's orange, blue? Here he is. Okay, he's not on my workbench. No big deal. I can put him up to the workbench. I'm going to do left inverted to get that guy up on the workbench. Then I'm going to do up inverted so I can swing him around so I can keep him on the workbench. Because remember, I got to do a left turn since I did left inverted so that I can keep my white T, my white cross. So now I've got all my pieces on the top now. I've got white, orange, blue right here, and I've got orange, blue right here. They're both on the workbench. Okay, here, the white piece is not on the top, the white piece is on the side. So you have two possibilities. If the white piece is on the side, the colors on the top either match or they don't match. If they do match, I like to call this move swinger. Swinger, this is the easiest one. Because think about it, all I really want to do to make a wedge, since these colors match, and this is orange blue and this is orange blue, is I want to swing this guy around to connect the two. I want to swing it around. You can swing things around quite easily. You do it all the time. What you do is you're going to hide this corner, you're going to dip it down, you're going to hide it, swing this guy around, and then bring this guy back up. Okay. Now, again, make sure you've got trash on your back corner. So right here, I've got trash. Let me put a good edge. So here's a good edge we worked hard to solve. If I dip this corner, if I hid this corner and swung this piece around, I would be messing up my good wedge right here. So I'm going to make sure I have trash on that back corner. Here's trash. So let me twist this like this. So I've got trash on this back corner right here. Okay, so I'm going to do left, up twice, left inverted. Okay, so that kept my white T, kept my white cross, so that didn't mess up, but I made a wedge. Okay, let me undo that and I'll show you again. Okay, all right, here's where we were. I'm going to hide this piece. There he goes. He's going to hide down in the bottom. I'm going to swing this guy around. That's why I call it swinger. Okay, then I'm going to put him back. So that's what you do if the colors match. And we've got a wedge. It's going to go on the white, orange, blue corner. White, orange, blue. It's going to go right here. We're going to get it close to that corner. And we're going to do right, up, inverted, right. Insert it. Hey, looks awesome. Check that out. That corner's still good. That corner's still good. Why are these corners still good? Is because I made sure to have trash in those places where I was going to be affecting those corners. All right, I've got one more to do. I've got this corner, white, red, green. Here he is, white, red, green, right here. Okay, I'm glad we ended up with this because I wanted to show you this as well. Here's the green edge, green-red edge that should go with white, red, green. They're connected. The problem is they're not right. They're not oriented correctly. You cannot fix them while they're stuck together. So if they are stuck together and they're wrong, what you have to do a lot of times is break them apart so that you can put them back together. So in this situation, let's do a right turn. You see we broke them apart, we separated them. They're still on my workbench, but they're now separated. Now at some point I've got to do right inverted because I need to get I don't want to mess up my white cross. So let me do a right turn to break them apart. I'm going to do up, not once because I don't want to send this guy back to a lower layer. So I'll do up twice. So here's the two pieces in question. And then I'll do right inverted to make sure I maintain my white T. Okay, and now green red and white green red are both on my workbench. I'll put the corner that has white on it on the side. And oh man, I got really lucky. I get to show you the third situation because otherwise I would have to make another video or cut away and show you the last one. But I got lucky enough to see all three scenarios. You've already seen swinger. You've already seen yoga. This is the last one. I call this one tipsy. The white is on the side, just like we saw with our last situation. The swinger situation where the white's on the side and the colors matched, but here the white's on the side and the colors are mismatched. So they're opposite colors here. So swinger would not work here because I could not just swing this guy this way or swing this guy this way. The wedge would not look right. So I like to call this third and final method tipsy. Okay, so, this is probably the most complicated of the three. But it is what it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this guy in a position where I can take this corner that has white on it where the white's facing out, and I'm going to tip this guy over and I want it to make a wedge. Okay, now I can't do that right now because it's on the wrong side. So I'd really love to move this green red edge over to here. That's easy to do. We've done this before. We're going to hide this guy and swing it around. Not all the way to connect it, but just I need it to really be right here. Now before I hide the white, red, green corner, remember, oh, I almost messed up. This was a good wedge. I don't want to mess this up when I hide that corner. So let me put trash in the back. I'm going to put trash back here. So I'm going to hide this white, red, green corner. I'm going to swing this guy over just once to get him in that position. Then I'm going to do a right turn to get him back. Okay, so this is in a good position now. So notice if I were to tip this guy over, there's my wedge. That looks really good if you can see that here. Okay, now we're actually going to do even better than that. We're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to make the wedge and insert it at the same time. You can do this with the tipsy move. Okay, so we're going to turn this guy to where we're on the red-green corner already, the white, red, green corner already. All right, and check this out. If you do right, up, right inverted, you just made the wedge and inserted it. Okay, let me go back. Okay, what we're doing is we're tipping, this is why I call it tipsy. We're tipping this guy over and sucking it down into the right position and then putting it back. So those are your only three possible situations. If the white's on top, then that's yoga. White's going to stay on top and the other side's going to bend left or right, clockwise or counterclockwise. If the white's on the side, if the tops match is swinger, if they mismatch is tipsy. So that's your only three possibilities. If your two pieces that make a wedge are connected, then you have to break them apart first. If your corner piece is up here and it's ready to go, but the edge piece that goes with it is on a lower level, like on the second level, and it's not on your workbench, you have to bring it up to the workbench, spin it away just so it's out of the line of fire, and then put it back. So both your corner piece and your edge piece will both be on the workbench. So if you check this out, hey, that's pretty awesome. We have now fixed the first two layers. And notice we did them all at once. We didn't fix the first layer, then fix the second layer. So that's pretty awesome. All right, so we're gonna break the video now, give you a little break, and then we'll come back and then we will talk about how to fix the last layer. Now the last layer we will not be using intuition, we will be using algorithm. So you'll need a pencil and a piece of paper to jot some of those down. All right, so we will be right back in the next video.